Welcome in to the action, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here in MOR for the F2 6 p.m. division. My name is Jack. I am your commentator, and this technically is a social, technically isn't a social. It's more a bit of a practice session for next week's F2 6 p.m. division. Welcome in, everybody. This should be quite a fun event, it must be said. My name's Jack. I'm your commentator, as pretty much always. And we are looking forward to what will hopefully be a really, really cool event. Of course, the F2 runs a little bit differently, and it is one-shot qualifying. We are here for reverse Silverstone. Obviously, everyone on the soft compound tyres. Let's get all our track telemetry enabled. And the big caveat here is that World Champion Best Noah is not here. World Champion Best Noah will not be here for the 8 p.m. race either. And it is current, well, not World Champion anymore, but he is a previous World Champion in the F2 division. MOR Blake is currently setting the timing screens alight through Sector 1. Looks very close with Rocco Reggie, though. It's through, what do we call this? Beckett's and Maggots, I guess we should say, as it is in reverse. Let me just load up our stream on Twitch so I can make sure I'm not missing any chats in Twitch as well. And it does look like Blake is the quicker man at the moment. Sweet Crown coming through as well, though. We know Sweet Crown is very quick in F2 machinery, as seen last week. So Sweet Crown could be on for a potential pole position here today. Currently ahead of Blake. We've got Pease in third at the moment. As through the final sector we go, and Blake is off the road then. And that is going to compromise his lap. It does look like it's going to be Sweet Crown on pole. Blake now down to 9th. And when it just looked like the former world champion would be getting into speed, it is Sweet Crown that takes pole. It's Pease in second with Rocco in third. Blake does finish in 9th place. Jay gets disqualified. Zebra Gamer has obviously had a moment somewhere, and it's just coming through the final corner now. And that is not the way that he would have wanted the session to go, but it's Sweet Crown that will be on pole then. Of course, the top 10 is flipped in Formula 2 for the sprint race. Didn't see who will be starting from pole. It will be Synonym Venom. I'm just going to call him Venom, to be completely honest. It'll be Venom from Blake. So Blake, with that mistake, has got himself a better starting position for the sprint, which should be very interesting. The Silverstone reverse sprint race is up next. We are back then for the formation lap, ladies and gentlemen. Tyre-wise, everyone opting for the hard compound tyres. And this should be a very interesting sprint race. That is for sure. It's Venom that will start from the front. It's then Blake, Harvey, Gianfranco, Farrell, Night Owl, GDA Beast, Rocco, Pease and Sweet Crown. It's Kian in 11th. Blake is 12th with Fabian Best in 13th. Lunar Eclipse 14th. NUFC Tilly in 15th place. And we should have a very interesting F2 race in store. Reverse tracks always throw up a little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage. Especially in Formula 2 machinery as well. This should be very, very interesting. 2 Red Bull livery cars, both for different teams, however. They will be starting at the front of the field. It's then a McLaren liveried car. It's then the MP Motorsports of Gianfranco. The starting grid for MP Motorsports of the sprint race looking very good. 2nd and 4th as Venom goes very wide through Copse Corner on the formation lap. That won't trouble him in any way, shape or form. We've then, of course, got Blake in 2nd, Harvey in 3rd. What can the Road and Motorsports man do from 2nd place? Venom obviously starting 1st. It's a very tight pinch into turn 1. So I would not be surprised if there's a little bit of chaos in turn 1. Blake, of course, 2nd, is a world champion, a proven race winner in Formula 2 machinery. What can he produce from 2nd? We definitely expect big things from Blake. Has had a bit of a harsh season, to be completely honest. Welcome in, Scooters, to the Twitch chat. Great to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a great day, Scooters. Thank you for joining us. It's Venom from Blake, Harvey from Gianfranco, Farrell from Night Owl, Beast from Rocco, Peas from Sweet Crown. As Tilly seems to have disconnected. Alexander, Alcada saying, I can barely turn the car. Formula 2 machinery, definitely very different to F1. And we just wait the drivers on the grid then. The F2 engines roar to life then. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we can go racing for the Silverstone sprint. But Blake with a terrible getaway from 2nd place. He's already down in the mid-pack. And that's where chaos ensues. Ralph Farrell also having a moment into turn 1 as well. I said that it pinches up quite tightly. And Farrell is going to fall foul of that. We've got a few people running off the road. Someone in the pit lane. That is Zebra Gamer, Tilly and Alcada struggling away as well in the opening phases of this sprint race. Look at Harvey right on the back of Venom as we go towards Maggots and Beckett. Is Harvey able to make a move? Does not look like it for the time being. We've got Mr. Bilski in the chat. Welcome in, Mr. Bilski. Good to see you, my friend. Night Out in 3rd. Rodin with a very good start, it must be said, as Harvey is looking to take the position off of Venom, who got a little bit out of hand through Maggots and Beckett. It's a Rodin Motorsport 1-2, but for how much longer? Because Venom has got a very good exit out of Copse Corner. Night Owl got a bit out of shape. He's going to lose a couple of positions. Here's Venom down the inside into Luffield as we now go towards Brooklands. This corner so long. Venom a little bit off the road. They are all scrapping away for positions here as it is again a Rodin Motorsports 1-2 here in the Silverstone reverse sprint. Venom trying to fight back. Look at Peas and Sweet Crown wheel to wheel. Sweet Crown took provisional pole. That's someone off the road. That's Sweet Crown that has been off the track. TTV Kian now through to 4th place, trying to make it 3rd. A lot of contact going on as Blake is already back up into 5th place then, getting very scrappy on the opening lap. But it's a Rodin Motorsports 1-2 as we finish the opening lap here in Silverstone. Night Owl is your leader. Harvey in 2nd place. Peas is 3rd. TTV Kian with a great result currently running in 4th place. Sweet Crown 5th with Blake in 6th. Farrell 7th with King Fenrir. The F2 Maestro in 8th place. Venom all the way down to 16th now. Not sure what happened to him. Doesn't look like he's got any damage to the front wing. As JF1 already coming into the pit lane. As into Maggots and Beckett's we go. The Rodin Motorsports cars flying along in this sprint race. Definitely doing very, very well. And the Rodin men looking to try and secure a 1-2 in this sprint race. Pease is running third with Kian in fourth place. And that got very, very close, didn't it? On lap 1. A lot of scrapping going on in the early phases. But it all starts to calm down a little bit now as Blake picks up a 3-second time penalty. We've got even more scrapping going on into Luffield corner. Blake versus Farrell, King Fenrir and Rocco right in behind. Rocco down the inside goes the... As Blake, that's off the track there. And through the grass he goes, and that is going to lose him a handful of positions as well. Blake now down to 9th place, was wheel to wheel. Well, I believe Ralph Farrell is that going very deep is King Fenrir, and off the road he goes. We always know F2 throws up a little bit of carnage, but then you put it around a reverse track as well, and it just gives you even more chaos. It's Night Out that is your leader then. Harvey in 2nd place. Pease setting the fastest lap of this sprint race so far. And the ART man really looking to get on the back of the 2 Rodin cars. Kian is 4th with Sweet Crown in 5th. The 2 Prema cars 5th and 6th at the moment. We've got a yellow flag at the back, and that is JF1, who is in the barriers and has had a bit of a moment. Not sure if there's any damage to the front wing of that car. We will try and get an off-board shot as early as possible, and there is front wing damage to that car. Alcada into the pits as well for the soft compound tyres. Jay back into the pit lane as well. Is out in front. It's Night Owl and Harvey that are still your leaders, but Pease is putting Harvey under a lot of pressure. Has the DRS assistance, but so does Harvey. So that all being a little bit put to no use as Pease goes a little bit wide through Luffield in the attempt of some better grip on the exit. Doesn't seem like it's working out for him. It's TTV Kian, who's currently running in 5th. He's been passed by Sweet Crown. The high-tech man looking for a best career finish in F2, I do believe. As Pease right on the back of Harvey. Is he going to charge down the inside line? Does not look like it. He's happy to sit there for the time being. As we enter lap 4 then of 11 of this sprint race, it's Night Out that is your leader. Crown now setting the fastest lap of this race and is closing in on the DRS of Pease ahead of him, who is stuck behind Harvey. Harvey is falling out of the DRS of Night Out. And how big is that going to be for the second Rodin car? He won't be getting any DRS. Pease will. And the advantage now kicks in then for the ART man. Sander in the TikTok chat. Welcome in, Sander. Good to see you, man. Hope you've had a good day so far. Hope this Formula 2 action is going to make it a little bit better. This is some brilliant racing we have seen so far. Rocco goes into 6th place past Farrell, who's had a bit of a moment. King Fenrir is going to get through Blake towards the outside of Cop's corner. That is very, very brave, but Blake is going to look to make the move, but he's ran wide and onto the grass again. Blake now down into 10th place, and Blake really not having the greatest sprint race in the world here. Harvey runs a little bit wide through Brooklands, and that's going to invite Harvey through on the invite Pease through, sorry, on the inside line. Is Pease able to make the move? It doesn't look like he has at the moment, but now as we get into the next corner, Pease does move through. A little bit of contact between the Rodin and the ART cars. Harvey all out of shape, and look at Sweet Crown with the better exit. Harvey might lose 2 positions in a single lap here as Sweet Crown has the inside for the final corner. Harvey runs a little bit wide onto the grass, and he is now down into 4th place. We'll fight this round the outside of turn 1 as Sweet Crown really rides over that sausage curb. And there's contact between them. They both get out of shape. It's going to favour Harvey, who stays in 3rd, but has lost the gap now. 2 Pease will not be having the DRS assistance, whereas Sweet Crown will. Stand up saying, in my opinion, on this game, F2 is more fun. To be honest, there's pros and cons. I think with F2, it's more skill-based rather than who can save more battery, if that makes sense. It's the only assistance you get is DRS, and in a Formula 2 car, it barely does anything. So it is definitely a lot more skill-based Formula 2. And I do think it is very enjoyable. You know, you get 2 races to prove yourself. Reverse top 10. That's someone that's been off the road, and that's Blake again. He's already been off the road, I think, about 3 times in this race already. Make it a 4th, and Blake now down to 17th place. Has he got any damage as well? He's got no front wing. So we'll be into the pit lane, and that will relegate him even more. Was world champion in season 1. Back when we were called WRC. And Blake now down to 17th and having a torrid time of it in this race. Out in front, it is still Night Owl that is leading this race. Sweet Crown is in the DRS of Peas. Harvey just falling a bit off of that fight. We've got King Fenrir trying to battle away with TTV Kian. So what can Fenrir do from 7th currently? The AIX man. King Fenrir, known as a bit of a maestro in the Formula 2 division. Might not have the most impressive performances that you ever see. But King Fenrir, always very, very consistent. And a man that is definitely one to watch out for. Kian in 6th place. Not really proven in the Formula 2 division, but definitely holding his own. Rocco in 5th. We know a proven race winner in F2. The same with Harvey. The same with Sweet Crown. Night Owl, I'm not sure if he's ever won a Formula 2 race before, but is definitely looking like he's on for one today. But Peas is gaining on the rear end of that Rodin car and edging towards the DRS assistance. Sweet Crown in 3rd, right behind the ART car, should I say. Harvey falling off the back of this fight. It was a Rodin 1-2 for a good 2 or 3 laps in this race. But unfortunately for Harvey, wasn't able to keep that position as Peas is gaining. Night Owl with a little bit of a lock-up, and that is going to cost him a tiny bit of time, and it will hemorrhage a lot of time down this straight as we go towards the final corner to begin lap 7 of 11 of this sprint race. Sweet Crown sets the fastest lap of the sprint so far, and that is going to be helping him in the DRS assistance. Peas getting a little bit out of shape through turn 1. And that will compromise the ART man. He is in the DRS of Night Owl though. So the battle for the lead now really does commence. We've got 3 drivers all within that little train. And it only takes one mistake in Formula 2 for the car to go round, step a little bit onto the grass. And you lose so much time. And that ultimately invites someone else through. Blake still in 17th. Did come in to change that front wing. As that looks like someone's made a little bit of contact there. And there's some carbon fiber confetti down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Tilly has had a bit of a moment somewhere. I can't tell whose front wing that actually is, as we have now got a battle for the lead then. Peas looking around the outside of Luffield. You're never going to make a move round there. Through Brooklands we go now. And Peas right on the back of Night Owl as we go towards the final sector. And the ART is gaining. Is this really an overtaking zone though? The answer is a resounding no. And he has to sit behind the Rodin car for a few corners more. Sweet Crown waiting in the wings for any sort of contact or mishap that will allow him through into the lead. As we begin lap 8 then, it's Night Owl from Peas, Crown from Harvey, Rocco from King Fenrir. As through turn 1 and 2 we go then. And Night Owl marginally has that lead. They are coming up now to lap someone. I can't tell who that is ahead. They've already lapped Alcada. It's JF1. As Lunar Eclipse is out in the pit lane. Evidently not having the greatest sprint race in the world. Night Owl gets through on the lapped car. Pease is still gaining through Maggots and Beckett's. We go little bit of a moment for Pease on the rear end. Is that going to allow Sweet Crown to get a run towards Cop's corner? We know how dangerous Cops can be, but these drivers evidently got confidence in abundance. Not close enough to make the move, but now we start the sprint towards Luffield, and it is Pease with the DRS gaining on the Rodin car, looking to the outside line. Forces Night Out to break a little bit later, is going to look for the up and under. But Luffield, such a difficult place to overtake, especially on the reverse format of the Silverstone track. And Night Out, almost like a sponge out in front, soaking up the pressure, doing a very good job of not making any mistakes and continuing the lead of this sprint race. And the Rodin, man, they've definitely picked their man well. Night Out looking to try and secure this victory. We obviously still have the feature race to come after this. Sweet Crown running in third. We know how quick Sweet Crown is, on pole position for the feature race. Blake, you would argue, should have been on pole position, but ultimately made that mistake in the final sector during qualifying. Was not able to punch his way through. As we make our way out of Stowe Corner then, and towards Maggots and Beckett's we go. DRS once again. Alcada comes into the pits and retires from the session too. That is 2 people out of this session as Pease is gaining towards Maggots and Beckett's. Is he going to look round the outside? The answer is yes. Can Night Out try and fight this? The answer to that question is no. And for the first time in line 9 laps, we have got a new leader in this reverse Silverstone sprint race. Pease takes the lead. Can Night Out try and fight this back through Cops? He's got Sweet Crown on the rear end and isn't going to be able to defend the inside line, or is he? Towards Luffield we go. Sweet Crown is going to chuck it down the inside line. That's very close to contact. They somehow don't come together as Blake sets the fastest lap. Through Brooklands we go. A Night Out manages to defend that, but it does look like Pease has got away with this one now. We've still got 2 laps to go in this sprint race before the feature race action. As that's Night Owl going a little bit wide through there. We're on board with the Prema car. Right on the rear end of the Rodin. As we move to start the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. And Sweet Crown in that slipstream is gaining very, very quickly. Blake picks up another 3-second time penalty. Prema versus Rodin, one of the many iconic Formula 2 rivalries between teams. Prema usually coming out on top in those fights. But it does look like Rodin are going to have the answer to the Prema challenge tonight. Pease is your leader then. Night Out still in the DRS. So if there is a mistake to be made for Pease, Night Out will try and take advantage. But it just looks like he's used up too much of the hard compound Pirelli to be able to gain on the ART man. Sweet Crown still in third. Maybe saving the move for the final lap. That is very wide through the exit of Cops. And that's going to compromise his challenge on the Rodin car into Luffield. We've now lapped NUFC Tilly as well. As towards the final sector, we now move through Luffield and then Brooklyn. Such hard corners in Formula 1 machinery as that is Pease with a moment on the exit of Brooklands. And I said Night Out would be waiting in the wings. Well, there is your opportunity. And the Rodin car moves straight through. I was just about to say, this is already such a difficult circuit in Formula 1 machinery. You whack the drivers in Formula 2 cars, and it makes it that little bit harder. And that just proves it. Pease was leading as we move on to the final lap. Only had a couple of kilometers to go to win the sprint race. But the mistake has been made. As Sweet Crown almost on 2 wheels for a second there, clouting the sausage curb on the inside of turn 1. But the battle now comes down to Rodin versus Prema then. The final lap of this sprint race. Sweet Crown in the DRS. It's Night Owl with the track position. We have seen Sweet Crown get very, very close through Cop's corner and towards Luffield, and you can see how much he's gaining with the DRS. Might be a little bit quicker in a straight line as well due to the setup. Night Owl is your leader. Towards Cops we go for one final time, and this is the last place that the Rodin car will have to defend. Will go on board with Sweet Crown. You can see Slipstream and DRS assistance. It's got to be a Hail Mary from the Prema car towards the inside line. So close to contact between them, and it does come to contact. Both of them off the road, and Pease, who made the mistake a lap ago, flies through where he went wide. We've got 3 cars within 0.2 of a second of each other. Into the final couple of corners we go. Pease, Night Owl and Sweet Crown. 3 different teams fighting away for the top 3 positions. But it does look like it's going to go the way of Pease. What a battle we have had at the front. But out at front, it is ART that has led most of it. And it's Pease that will win the reverse Silverstone sprint race. Night Owl comes home in second, Sweet Crown in third. And I'm sure if we look in the Discord, there will be many a message from Night Owl towards Sweet Crown. I imagine many of those words will not be repeatable on the broadcast. Beast comes home in 4th. It's King Fenrir 5th with Rocco in 6th place. Harvey is 7th with TTV Kian in 8th place. Farrell finishes 9th with Fabian in 10th. Gianfranco 11th. Venom comes home for 12th, but it will be 13th on track. No, 14th after penalties. 15th after penalties. Blake with a horrible day in the sprint race, coming home for 16th place. Tilly finishes in 17th with Jay in 18th. Lunar Eclipse and Alcada failing to reach the flag. What a dramatic end to the sprint race here in the Formula 2 action. And it's Pease that takes the plaudits. He is your winner in this sprint race. And we now still have a 14-lap feature race to look forward to. There are your results then from the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. Pease from Night Owl and Crown taking the final podium position. Well, if that sprint race was anything to go by, the feature race should be even spicier. Ladies and gentlemen, the Silverstone reverse feature race is up next. Welcome back to the action here at Silverstone, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet Crown is on pole position. Rel P's in second place. It's Rocco that lines up third. Ian saying people don't practice it much, so pace can be very equal, and none of the battery, you can just drive. Exactly that. It's a lot more pace. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot more down to pace than it is, let's say, F1. That is more battery based, more where you're going to use the battery, where you're going to gain the battery, blah 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 blah. It's definitely more equal on pace, as it is also raining. That is one thing you've got to take into account in this feature race. It is wet. That might seem... It might even out a little more. They do always call rain the great equalizer, don't they? So it might make it a little bit more equal as well. But it is going to make this track very treacherous. You've got F2 cars. You've got a reverse track layout. That's already chaotic enough. Then you add the heavens opening. I think we're in store for a little bit of carnage in this race. But that is just my educated guess, as we've already got some racing going on the formation lap here. Rocco and Sweet Crown evidently testing the limits of their Formula 2 cars. As we make our way to the end of the formation lap, JF1 starting from the back. What can Blake do from 9th place? What can Gianfranco do from 7th? We've obviously got Pease, who is a very, very quick driver. We've got Sweet Crown starting in clean air. What can he do? He seemed to get a little bit trapped behind the two cars ahead of him in the sprint race. But the feature race is where you score the lion's share of points, as Sweet Crown struggling a bit to park that car. And all that's left to do then, ladies and gentlemen, is wait for the lights ahead of the drivers. The engines roar to life then, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for chaos at Silverstone. We can go racing for the Silverstone feature race. It's Sweet Crown that gets the good getaway. Pease sliding off of the grid. Rocco in third. Farrell and GDA Beast wheel to wheel through turn one we go. The two Alpine liveried cars squirming away through the first corner. Looks like we've all got through cleanly. And we can continue racing at the back there. No, that is some contact. And I believe JF1 has lost a bit of front wing. Lunar Eclipse in 18th place, should I say as well. But Sweet Crown got the getaway, has got the lead from pole position. Pease challenging in behind. And the ART driver, it's going to be very hard to overtake here, especially without the DRS assistance as well. It really does all come down to pace and pace advantage. GDA Beast running in fourth as we go through Copse Corner for the first time. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cars going wide through there. Very difficult to figure out the grip, as that is someone going very wide, and that is Venom. And Zebra going to be all over the back of him then. Towards Luffield we go. And Zebra does get the move done on Venom. Venom trying to fight it back, but not able to make his way through. Sweet Crown is still your leader. Pease in second with Rocco in third place. GDA Beast is fourth with Rel Farrell in fifth. We've got Harvey and Gianfranco fighting away in the first sector. Gianfranco in sixth. Harvey in seventh. It's Kian in eighth place. As the high-tech driver tries to battle away with the Rodin, but you can see it's so unstable, as we're only just getting to the end of lap one, and it is Sweet Crown that is your leader. Pease in second with Rocco in third place. There is no grip available whatsoever around this race circuit. the Prema man doing a very good job. All of the drivers doing a very good job to just keep it on the road. It is absolutely chucking it down here at Silverstone. Pease in second place. Rocco falling a little bit off of the top two. 1.3 seconds is the gap. GDA Beast running in fourth. Farrell is fifth. And the Prema team having a very good outing at the start of this feature, but anything can happen within the remaining 13 laps. The gaps start to open up, then it's very hard to follow closely in these conditions, especially in Formula 2 machinery. Excuse me. Gianfranco in sixth, then the MP Motorsports man. He's closest to Rel Farrell. Rel Farrell, you can see, struggling in the rain and nearly going round on the exit of Brooklands. Gianfranco gaining towards the rear end of the Alpine liveried car. Not able to make his way through at the moment, but definitely putting Farrell under a lot of pressure. And any little mistake from the Prema man, and I'm sure Gianfranco will be capitalizing. Blake in 8th place. Kian is in 9th. And Kian, you can see, is struggling in this feature to even just keep the car on the road. As we move on then to lap 3 of 15. Sweet crown from Pease and Rocco. Rocco is really falling off the back of this. And the two leaders still scrapping away then. Sweet Crown is the man out in front, taking control of this race at the moment. Harvey running in 7th. Blake is 8th with Kian in 9th. King Fenrir running in 10th. And these are definitely very different conditions to what we saw really over the entire F2 season. The drivers will not be used to these wet conditions. But I do think this is going to take away the whole pit stop element. I think they'll be able to take these wet tyres 15 laps, which means it will just be a straight shootout, to the end of the feature. Pease in second is still keeping tabs on Sweet Crown, and sometimes that is all you can do in a race with these sorts of conditions, is just sit behind, put the driver in front under pressure, and just hope that somewhere along the 15 laps they make some sort of a mistake that you can capitalize on. You can see how difficult it is riding on board with the drivers. Just to even do something as simple as put the power down, it really is not easy. Night Owl, I believe, is disconnected as well. Mr. Bilski back in the chat. Welcome in, mate. Good to see you. Hope you are enjoying the F2 action here tonight. We've still got more F2 action coming for you later on at 8 p.m. I will be back with you in the commentary booth for that race. That is the season finale of the F2 Championship. So make sure you're there. Both championships have been decided. It's almost a little bit of a fun season end for the drivers. Obviously, that technically still being held under the WRC name, whereas we are now MOR, and we have got many big things coming your way towards the end of this week, including the announcements for the lineups for next season's F2 division, along with the Saturday Teams division and the Sunday Esports division. And do remember as well, the Sunday Esports division, really going to be the crown jewel of MOR Season 5. The winner of the Esports division getting a £200 prize. Almost wish I was racing in that, but I will probably be your commentator for that Sunday Esports division. Miller saying, do you do 24 hours a day? Not 24. We race pretty much all day, every day, though. It is from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We are constantly racing in MOR. There's maybe a 30-40 minute break between races, but every 2 hours a new race will start. That's kind of the logic behind it. So 10 a.m. you'll have a race that'll go for about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. Then 12 p.m. or, yeah, 12 p.m. you'll have a race start. That'll go for an hour and a half. Then at 2 p.m. you have a race, so on and so forth, until 10 p.m. That will run till about 11:30, and then that is our racing action done for the day. Obviously, we are based in EU. We're not going to have races at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, things like that. However, if there were to be enough of an audience from, let's say, the Americas or Australia or somewhere like that, there could always, maybe, be an NA division opened up or something like that. Mr. Bilski saying, who's commentating the 6 p.m? The 6 p.m. is right now, and it is me, JP, Jack Patient Comms, your favourite commentator, who is in the commentary booth. If you did mean the 8 p.m, Mr. Bilski, which is what I'm going to assume, it is also me. Then at 10 p.m, we return to F1 action. That will be an F1 social race, and that will be the one, the only Gavin Bass in the commentary booth. And what a job he's been doing on commentary recently. F1 GP in the chat as well. Welcome in. Good to see you guys. Lap 5 of 15 of this feature race. Alcada makes his way into the pit lane. I highly doubt that was a scheduled pit stop. Maybe picking up some front wing damage along the way of the last 5 laps. As we're about to move on to lap 6. Mr. Bilski trying to keep me on my toes. Rel P's still running in second. Keeping Crown under pressure. Rocco in third. About 3 seconds shy. Running a pretty lonely race, to be honest. 3 seconds ahead of him. 3 seconds behind him to Beast. Rocco, he's in the podium places though. I'm sure he will not have a care in the world to be running in third. A little bit lonely. I'm sure he would take that if you told him that that's where he would finish at the start of this event. Of course, every driver wants to win, but Sweet Crown and Peas look head and shoulders above the rest at the moment. Lap 6, we move on to then of 15. Prema versus ART in the lead for the F2 feature race. Mr. Bilski saying, in my career mode, I'm trying to make Audi the fastest car. I bet that takes him work. I think they start off as, if I'm not mistaken, the 7th quickest car. So that's definitely not going to be easy trying to make them the fastest. Definitely a few seasons you'll need, depending on what sliders you've got on and R&D and money that you get and all that sort of thing. I can't say I've played an F1 career mode in a long, long time. F1 26 has really killed my love for racing, to be honest. I've moved on to things like Le Mans Ultimate and Assetto Corsa, more actual racing sims, to be completely honest. Mr. Bilski saying I'm in the midfield right now. Well, it seems like you're doing a job. A good job at that. And I'm sure, especially if you're committed to it and you're grinding away with the R&D and whatnot, with time, it will come. Sweet Crown pulling out a little bit more of a gap on lap 6. The gap now over a second. Not that that matters. DRS not enabled in the rain anyway. And it's still the Prema man that is leading. The closest battle on track at the minute is between Gianfranco and Rel Farrell. Rel Farrell right behind GDA Beast as well. JF1 right on the back of Venom 2. You can see Jay struggling for grip through Cop's corner and running wide onto the grass. And the high-tech man falls a little bit behind as Gianfranco and Farrell are doing battle. Beast involved in that battle as well. Sweet Crown sets the new fastest lap of the race as we about reach the half race distance in this Grand Prix, or in this feature race, should I say. .1 seconds is the gap as Gianfranco is going to look down the inside line. The MP Motorsports man through into 5th, then GDA Beast with the mistake was in 4th place. Now falls down to 6th. The tyres may be wearing. We've now got Kian in the pit lane for hard compound tyres. Not sure what that's about. Venom also in. for the hard compound tyres. Has it stopped raining here in Silverstone? I was convinced it was still raining. It looks like the raining has stopped. So the rain has stopped then here in Silverstone. And surely everyone will be into the pit lane. Although, is the track dry enough? The rain only stopped really when Kian came into the pit lane. And you can see him struggling for grip on the hard compound tyres. Back to the front. Sweet Crown, will he be into the pit lane? It doesn't look like he should be. And he is staying out. Gianfranco and Ralph Farrell still battling away as well. As Rocco's had a moment somewhere. Rocco's disconnected. As all these drivers dive into the pit lane, Gianfranco and GDA Beast get 10-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane. And that is going to ruin their chances of doing anything special in this race. King Fenrir also picks up a penalty as well. Peas and Sweet Crown staying out. Beast, Farrell, and Gianfranco all onto the soft compound tyres. Rocco onto the hards. The strategy looking very split as well. It's only going to take a little bit of time. Before we truly realise what is the better tyre in this race. Sweet Crown is still your leader. Relp's in second with Zebra in third. These three stayed out. I wouldn't be surprised if the AIX man is going to lose a lot of positions from the undercut here. Sweet Crown is still setting purple sectors though on the full wet tyres. So maybe it isn't time to come in just yet. Sweet Crown is going to come into the pits. Peas is going to follow him in. Zebra Gamer, you can imagine, is going to be coming in as well. As Gianfranco is right behind him. It's going to be soft compound tyres for Crown and for Peas. So were the hard compound tyres really the best idea? To me, I can't say it seems like it. We're on lap 9 of 15 of this race. And it is Sweet Crown that is your leader. M4E saying, even F2 you're commentating. I am indeed. Morel saying, what happened in the live earlier? To put it simply, my PC died. It was using a lot of memory. And in the heat as well in the UK at the moment, it overheated. I do apologise to all of you that were tuning into that stream. But we have got a fix for that now. And there shouldn't be any more issues. Sweet Crown is your leader then in this race. Leading by 2.6 seconds to Peas has gained some time. In the pit stops and in the pit lane. And Sweet Crown, as long as he doesn't make any sort of mistake, M4E saying, hey JP, remember the AI convo you had with the chat before? I do indeed. Crossing the line then is Sweet Crown to begin lap 10 of 15. Pease is the man in second. GDA Beast in third with Farrell in fourth place. Gianfranco fifth with Harvey in sixth. Fastest laps start tumbling. .9 seconds is Sweet Crown's lead out in front. And this man still flying away with it. Sweet Crown, so incredibly quick. As we've now got a virtual safety car deployed in this race. Why is there a virtual safety car? Is that because Zebra, it is Zebra, has knocked off his front wing. And that is why we have got a virtual safety car deployed in this race. I'm sure Sweet Crown will be very happy that it isn't a full safety car. Otherwise, that really could have compromised his race. VSC should be in at any moment. And we will return to green flag racing here at Silverstone. We're on lap 10 at the moment. Sweet Crown about to start lap 11 of this race. VSC still out. Now it comes in. We've got a through drive-through penalties. Oh my god, I can't even speak English. A few drive-through penalties under the safety car as my phone is making some sort of alert noise. Ah, yes. There is apparently an alert for wildfires nationally. That is, interesting. I must admit, that scared the living daylights out of me. So do make sure if you are in the UK, you are being careful. It has been very hot recently in the UK, and definitely wildfires are the sort of thing that you wouldn't really associate with the UK. But with the heat that we have had recently and the humidity, it is a real issue. So do make sure if you are having things like disposable barbecues or, I don't know, for some reason setting off fireworks or anything like that, please do make sure you are being safe and you are being careful when you do so. Sweet Crown then starts lap 12 of this race. And there's really not been anyone to be able to try and stop him. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, if the commentary has been a little bit subpar. It is honestly just so hot in the UK. I'm trying to limit myself so I don't absolutely overheat and pass out or something. M4E saying, JP, tomorrow, is it the other commentator then? You and repeating like that. So tomorrow, let me just get the rotor up for you. M4E, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what is going on. So tomorrow being Saturday, so at 10 a.m. you've got Gavin Bass. At 12 p.m. you've got me. At 2 p.m. you've got me. At 6 p.m. you've got me. At 4 p.m. sorry, you've got me. So let me restart. 10 a.m. you've got Gavin. 12, 2 and 4 you have me. 6 you have Sean. 8 you've got me. 10 you've got Sander. So you're getting 3 different commentators tomorrow. Myself, Gavin, Sean, no, and Sander. So 4 different commentators that you will be getting. JR, I am commentating at 12 tomorrow. So if you are racing in that event, I will be with you and covering that action. Lap 13 then of 15 of this race. And it is Sweet Crown dominantly leading. Farrell and Gianfranco, very close proximity they are in. GDA Beast involved in that fight as well. We'll bring up the penalty screen on the left-hand side. And you can see that Farrell is quite easily going to take third place in this race. Kian, with the penalties that are going on, could take fourth here if he gets the move on. So the hard compound tyres need to give him a bit of life, because Kian really could finish fourth in this race. Wishing Kian all the best in this feature race as we get into the final parts of it now. Sweet Crown moves on to the penultimate lap of this race. And it has been very entertaining with the wet conditions and then it going back to dry. And Sweet Crown has looked absolutely unstoppable in this event. We know that he's quick in Formula 2 machinery, but this is even quicker than we first expected. And the Prema man absolutely flying away. Moving towards the final lap of this race then. M4E asking JP, are you from the UK? I am indeed. I am indeed. Sweet Crown then moves on to the final lap of this race and has absolutely flown to the final lap of this race. Really hasn't looked under any pressure at all. And has done a superb job of leading, commanding this race. Has just got a few kilometers to go. We'll go on board with Sweet Crown. As towards Luffield, he comes for one final time. He has done an absolutely brilliant job in this race. And I'm sure will be challenging for one of the F2 championships in Season 5. Sweet Crown into the final sector. Has dominated this race. Has been head and shoulders clear of everybody else. Got the gap from Pease when he needed to when it turned to dry conditions. And Sweet Crown then rounds the final corner to win the Silverstone reverse feature race. It will be Pease that finishes in second. GDA Beast will finish third on track. But it will be Rel Farrell that takes the final podium position. Gianfranco finishes in 5th. MUFC Harvey will finish in 6th. But what can Kian do then? What position can he find himself in? It might only be 6th here. I'm not 100% sure. As he comes around the final corner and crosses the line, Kian does go up to 6th place. It will be 8th for Rocco. 9th for Blake. Venom will finish 10th on track, but will fall behind the likes of JF1 due to his penalty. King Fenrir with 23 seconds in penalties. Macho Wings will finish 13th with Stu in 14th place. Fabian 15th, Alcada 16th, Zebra in 17th, Night Owl, in 18th, Lunar Eclipse in 19th, and NUFC Tilly in last. Lily just joining up as the stream ends. I appreciate you tuning in anyway, Lily. As that is the race over then, ladies and gents. And Sweet Crown dominating the F2 feature race action. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me here this evening. I will be back in 50 minutes with the F2 Championship finale. So make sure you tune in then. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. Pleasure to bring you the action. And as always, until we see you, take care and ta-da.